right, hey y'all, Mr. Kyle Myers Mathematics, and let's just jump into it here. This is visualizing data, Kuta software, Infinite Algebra 1. We're supposed to draw a box and whisker plot for each data set. I looked at the key for this. I kind of like cheated and went ahead and looked at the answer that they had, and I was a little like, wow, really? Because they actually don't even include 45 in the box and whisker plot. They put it like as a separate dot, which I'm pretty sure is because it's an outlier. If you were to find the standard deviation of this data and then look at the mean and then look at like, how many would be plus or minus 3 standard deviations, I think it falls outside of 3 standard deviations, which means it's an outlier, which is probably why they don't include 45 in the box and whisker plot. So if you're like, what the heck did you just say? Okay, so just like Google visualizing data, Kuta software, Infinite Algebra 1, it'll come up. You can look at the key and you can look at the answer yourself. I won't post their answer. I'm just going to do it how I think box and whisker plots should be done, which is you're not trying to do anything fancy. You just put the least value is the one left side whisker, the greatest value is the right side whisker, and then you have your boxes in between. So let's jump into it here. It looks like the data is already from least to greatest, so that's nice. So I'm going to color code just a little bit, but not too much. That's the smallest data value. And then it goes up, 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 up. Just double checking here. Yeah, it looks like they're all in order from least to greatest. So the least will be yellow, the greatest is blue, and then I'll make everything else green. So if we're going to make a box and whisker plot, it's going to look basically something like this, and you should be able to see this down here. So yellow whisker on the left-hand side, and then we're going to come over. And if you're going to do it like super, super proper, then you would actually have like a, which actually we can do this here. We can just make a, like a little line graph thing going on here. Go all the way across like this. So on this line graph, we'll start at 26 and go to 45. So let's see, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. I don't need nearly this much space. And they're actually going by like half spaces over here. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Okay, so I did not need, I'm gonna redo this because I can space that out a lot more than what I just did. Let's see if I can space that out better. And you don't have to make it perfect. I'm not trying to make it perfect, but I think I want to make it just a little bit better than what I did. Space it out a little bit more, so that way it's not all so close together. So we'll go 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, and then we'll put 45 right here maybe. Okay, so a little bit more spaced out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine certainly isn't. So, it's just how you want it to look, right? So 27, 28, 29. So this is 30. This will be 35, 40, and 45. You should be able to see all that. Yep. Okay. Let's get rid of that there. Actually, I do need to pull that back up because I need yellow next for 27. And then I'll need blue for 45. Okay. Now, we need to do just a little bit of math because I need to know what the quartiles are. And basically how box and whisker plots work is there are kind of like 5 quartiles in a way, right? So bear with me here because you're probably like, wait, quartile means 4 though, right? Yes, it does. But if you start counting at 0, then there would be 5 of them. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So let's look at how I would say this is, right? So when I split everything up into quartiles, I'm just doing this to try to make sense of everything. This is not like an official thing that you'll see in a book. Okay? So this is not like like if I put this in a book, I would make it an official thing in my book. But this is how I'm gonna classify everything, right? So quarter 1, quarter 0, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4, okay? So normally with quartiles, when we talk about quartiles, the official quartiles that you'll see in the books are quartile 1 and quartile 3. Those are the official ones because the second quartile is the median. The median is the second quartile. And then the first, the 0th quartile is the minimum value, which we already have. So actually I'm going to use yellow for that because we have that kind of color coded there. So the minimum value, minimum, and then the maximum value. So maximum. And I even try to differentiate by using a capital letter for the M for maximum and a lowercase for the minimum. Not necessary, just to kind of show that difference there, okay? So that's kind of how I would classify everything. So everything that you do in a box and whisker plot is basically a quartile. I've got quartile 0 and quartile 4 already plotted. And I'm actually just going to use green for the rest of it. I'm not going to be too colorful today here. We need to find out what the other quartiles are. The quartile 0 and the quartile 4 are the easiest to find out. The 1, 2, and 3, you kind of have to do a little bit of work for those. The median is the middle number, so we need to find out what the middle number is. So what I like to do is just kind of slash them. So slash, 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 slash. I'm going to slash them out the least and the greatest. Then out of what's left over, the least and the greatest. Then out of what's left over, the least and the greatest, right? So you kind of do it like that, and you do pairs. So 1, 2, there's a pair. 1, 2, there's a pair. 1, 2, there's a pair. And you just keep going, right? So I'm almost done already. It's a little tedious sometimes. Da, da, da. And then I have 2 middle values. Oh no, let's just make sure that we counted everything right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values on the left side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values on the right hand side. Okay, so I have just as many on the left as I do on the right. Now what we have to do, now that we have 2 middles, 2 medians, I find the average. So it's kind of weird because sometimes the median is like an average and a median, and that's what's going on here. If you have 2 medians, then you have to find the average of the 2, which means you'd have to add them up and divide by how many, or you could just kind of think of like what would be exactly between 31.1 and 31.5. If I go down by 1 and up by 1, then that would be 31.2. So 31.2 and 31.4. Trying to meet in the middle here. Now what if I go up by 1 more and down by 1 more? Oh, 31.3. 31.3. Ah, I think I found the middle. 31.3 would be exactly in between 31.1 and 31.5. They're both 0.2 away from my 2 middles. So you could do it that way. It's a little bit less mathy, but the formula would be a plus b divided by 2. I'm trying to find the mean or the average of 2 things, so I divide by 2. So you would add 31.1 and 31.5 and then take that number and divide by 2. You can find the answer that way as well. Okay, so 31.3 is the median. 31.3, so I have 31 right here. 0.3 would be about right there. Boom, there it is. Okay, so that's the median. So this is quartile 2 or the median. All right, so for official reasons here, this will be, I'll just put an M for median there. Okay. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to look for the middle of the left side values that I crossed out. So this time I'm going to cross out the other way. I'm going to cross out this way. And 1 and 1, right? So starting with the least value and then the greatest value that is less than my 2 medians. So cross that, still in pairs. Cross that, cross that, cross that, cross that, and there we go. So now I just have 1 value. I have 3 values below it and 3 values above it, so I don't need to find the mean because there's only 1 middle value that's to the left side. It's the left side middle value, which we call quartile 1 or quarter 1, 27.6. So 27.6 is about right there. So there's quartile 1. And then we do the same thing to find quartile 3. So cross, 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 cross. There it is. All right. My computer is in low battery mode, but I didn't have, the charger's like right next to me, but I'm gonna just finish this off because we're almost done. So if you notice that the screen got slightly darker, that's what it did. It went into low power mode. All right, so 34, that's right here, quartile 3. And so you draw your whiskers. Your whiskers go from the quartile 0 to quartile 1 is your left side whisker. And then your right side whisker goes from quartile 3 to 4. Then you have your boxes that connect quartiles 1 and 3. And you split right here down the middle. So it's 2 boxes that are joined at the median, right? So you have one box that goes from quartile 1 to quartile 2, one box that goes from quartile 2 to quartile 3, and again, quartile 2 is the median. And then your whiskers always go from the minimum value to quartile 1, and from quartile 3 to the max value. All right, and that is your box and whisker plot. Now, again, this is a little bit different from the key that they have for this particular question, but I disagree with their answer. I don't think that you should make outliers a separate value. I think that's just making it way more complicated than it needs to be. So if your teacher is going off of their key, then they'll want to see a different answer. Again, just Google it, and you'll be able to find their answer and give them the answer that they're looking for if you need to. But this is the proper answer, in my opinion. So you've got it, and hopefully that's helpful. See you guys in the next episode. Go check out my free stuff on my website, myersmathematics.com. Link in the description below. Blessings, y'all.